Redcar is a small fishing town on the northeast coast. It has a rich tourist history throughout the 19th century, attracting thousands to its seafront attractions. Redcar is known for its signature cone, the lemon top, its shopping high street, cinema and of course its pier, which stretched 1,300 feet. From 1873, the pier was home to a bandstand, ballroom, cafe, a roller skating rink and a theatre. After years of damage from storms and the war, the pier was declared unsafe and was closed down in 1980 and demolished by the end of 1981. It's been nearly 30 years since Redcar had a traditional pier. In 2008, Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council announced plans to redevelop the seafront. The plans included a £31 million leisure and community centre, a £4.9 million youth centre and a £30 million seafront strengthening and promenade improvements, and finally a £1.6 million beacon. We went to speak with Daniel Willis from Redcar and Cleveland Borough Council to find out more about the regeneration.
Essentially it's to increase the prosperity of the town, so we want to ride out the recession basically. Creating a lot more jobs for people that live in the town, upskilling people in the town so that they can take on new workloads. First of all, the new seawall needed to be put in because our old one was totally inadequate. There was over 1,000 homes that were at risk of flooding and over 300 businesses as well. Basically the whole of the seafront needed to be removed in order to install the new seawalls. So it was the perfect opportunity really to regenerate the seafront. So we created a big master plan for the whole of the town on the back of that.
As well as spending around £30 million regenerating the seafront, £13.2 million has been invested on the development of the hub and the tuned-in centre.
The hub is a centre for creative industry, so the impact is that it'll diversify our economy. Historically, a lot of people living in the town have worked in the heavy industry, sort of ICI, and a lot of that's actually declining, so it's just creating a more stable economy. Tuned in is a centre for young people. The emphasis from classes and things there is sort of creative industry as well, so hopefully it'll encourage young people to look into creative businesses, taking on things that they do as a hobby and making a business out of that.
The £75 million development, however, did not include plans to give Redcar a traditional pier.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get funding for a traditional pier, so we changed the name to the Redcar Beacon and people generally like it now.
Since 2011, a group of local people have been campaigning for a traditional pier in Redcar.
The Redcar Pier Association is basically, it was set up because people in Redcar wanted a pier, they wanted that experience of the connection with the sea. Everybody we speak to and everybody we listen to says that they would like a traditional pier, and that's what we're trying to do. We've got over 500 members now. The idea is that we will set up a charitable trust or a charitable company, that a pier will be built for the benefit of everybody at Redcar.
I think Redcar needed regeneration, and it has been needed that for quite a long time. I think everything what they're doing at the moment is very, very good. There's still quite a lot of things which they need to look at, i.e. the parking. I know the council need, or what they've suggested, they're going to be bringing 1.5 million visitors to the town. So the regeneration is a good thing.
One of the most controversial elements of the development was the Redcar Beacon. But why was it so controversial?
Originally we called it the vertical pier, and that was just the working title that the architects gave it. And that brought back a lot of sort of nostalgia, especially from the older generation who grew up with two piers in Redcar.
I think the Beacon's divided opinion because it started off with the original name, the vertical pier. It's caused us a lot of problems. The word pier seems to get people very passionate these days. We're glad that they've called it the Beacon. We think it's a lot more appropriate. I think any sort of enhancement of the Redcar seafront benefits Redcar. It's not a traditional pier, which is what we want. We don't feel that you can spend all day on a tower, but we certainly feel if you've got the right amenities on a traditional pier, you could keep people occupied for a whole day. I
think that it's got a lot of questions about it. Hopefully they will be answered, fully, and everybody will appreciate what we do have here in Redcar, which is a fantastic coastline. Everything is here for people to come, and all we need now is a real pier.
Yes, we're planning on a traditional pier. It'll be a modern traditional pier. Nobody's going to build an antique, so it will be of modern materials. We've given a selection of choices, and people are telling us that they would like a pier with amenities on the end.
Once we get a real pier here, we will get a lot more people here into the area. You can only prove that by Saltburn. You only have to travel to Saltburn Pier and see the amount of people who actually go onto that pier in all weathers. And that pier will be nothing like what we are trying to achieve down here.
Along with the improvements to the area, the regeneration will improve life for Redcar and the surrounding areas. But how will this be achieved?
In Redcar has an emphasis on jobs created through tourism, so a lot of that will be private sector jobs, like people working in hotels and restaurants.
More tourism means that people are spending more time here, spending more money, which then increases the amount of shops in the area, and ultimately it's got to be a good thing.
Once the seafront, the traffic situation sorted out, I think that the locals will really come to love it at the end of the day.
Since the 14th century, Redcar has maintained its status as a traditional fishing town. Even to this day, its fishing history is recognised with fishing boats displayed along the promenade. But will the regeneration take this away?
I think a little bit. I think, unfortunately, where the sea levels are rising, we've had to raise the walls. The council have, rather than put slopes on the sea walls, have put steps which lets people sit on there and have the sandwiches, which is good. But I do feel that we've lost our connection with the sea, particularly when I was a child. The boats used to go all the way down to the seafront. That's what we're hoping with a traditional pier. That will give us that connection back. People can walk over the water, they can see the waves, they can learn about the different types of fish and the seaweed and everything that's on there. We'll have information boards and stuff. It's all about educating people about what a fantastic asset Redcar has got right on its doorstep.
It's going forward, and I think anything going forward, the fishermen will understand that, but I think they will survive, and I think they will do very, very well with the whole way that the tourism is being involved, the promotion of the area. As long as it's promoted correctly, I think the fishermen will really, really thrive on it.
Businesses like Pasitos and the arcades and things along the front, they will benefit from it quite a lot. We're hoping to increase footfall in the town by about 1 million people per year, so that means that those people are going to hopefully come to the town and spend, which will pump money back into all of the businesses here, which then will create more jobs for people living in the area.
Redcar is known for its tourist attractions, but will the regeneration help push its tourism industry forward?
Main focus for Redcar is tourism development, so we've got a great beach, so we're trying to utilise that a lot more. One of the things that we're doing specifically for tourism is making sure that people are aware of the sort of the natural surroundings, so like a visitor centre at the beach for people to walk along and see what fossils and different things that we have on the coastline.
People come to Redcar for a day out at the seaside, some fresh air, and that's what the new regeneration will provide them, hopefully.
Once we can prove that people do want a real traditional pier, one which goes out into the sea, I am sure within the next X amount of years we will get a real pier here once again back in Redcar.
We'd like to see a lot more people coming to Redcar as a destination, and then consequently they should start visiting other parts of the area, Saltburn, Mask, the North Yorkshire Moors, places like that, and they'll realise what a jewel in the crown it is.
With any major changes or development, there is always going to be a period of adjustment. However, the long-term outcomes can only have a positive effect on Redcar and its surrounding areas.